All right, let's get right into it. So, Kawasaki, a name you just know from the world of high-performance racing, has just dropped something new. And no, it's not a bike, but what goes inside it. They've launched a brand new racing oil, and believe me, they are making some seriously bold claims about what it can do.
I mean, right out of the gate, check out the language they're using. The pinnacle of performance protection. Wow. I mean, that's not a small claim, right? It tells you right away this isn't just your average, everyday oil for a quick change. Nope, they're positioning this as a major upgrade, something built to survive the absolute chaos of racing.
So yeah, that's exactly what we're going to break down today. We're going to look at the tech that's actually inside this bottle, figure out the specific problems it's supposed to solve, and most importantly, what does all this mean for you, the rider in the seat? But look, before we can really get the solution, we've got to understand the problem. And a high-performance engine, especially when you're pushing it on a track, well, it's an incredibly violent place. It's really a battlefield of heat, pressure, and of course, friction. So let's ask the question, what is actually going on inside that engine when you're wringing its neck for maximum power? Well, it pretty much boils down to three major enemies of performance and, just keeping the thing from blowing up. First up, you've got just insane heat. I mean, we're talking temperatures that can actually weaken metal. But for the oil, the real danger is that this heat will literally cook it. A standard oil just breaks down, loses all its protective properties, and suddenly your most critical components are totally exposed. Then there's just crushing pressure. Think about it. Pistons, bearings, gears, they are all slamming into each other thousands of times every single minute. The only thing stopping them from grinding themselves into dust is a tiny, microscopic film of oil. And finally, you've got the constant enemy, friction. Every tiny bit of internal friction is horsepower that's being stolen from you, horsepower that should be hitting that rear wheel. Plus, it just generates more heat and wears everything out faster. It's a really nasty cycle. So, faced with this three-front war, how is Kawasaki planning to fight back? Well, their answer is a totally new formulation, and they're calling it a triple synthetic formula. And that number is the key, 3. See, this isn't just one type of synthetic oil. Kawasaki has cooked up this unique blend of 3 different premium synthetics. And the whole idea here is that each one has a specific job, a specific mission to fight either the heat, the pressure, or the friction. So here it is, the official name, KPO Full Synthetic SAE 10W40 4-stroke Racing Oil. And you can tell Kawasaki is really leaning on their racing heritage with this one. They're basically saying, hey, this stuff was born on the track, from decades of us pushing our machines to the absolute breaking point. So what are the big claims for this unique blend? Well, according to Kawasaki, it does a few key things. It cuts down on internal friction to free up more horsepower. It keeps the engine running cleaner because it doesn't break down from heat. It helps the engine stay efficient even when it's screaming hot. And the big one, it helps all those expensive parts last longer. It really is a full-on assault against everything that tries to slow an engine down. Okay, so that's all the cool science happening inside the engine. But let's be real, what does any of that actually mean for you, the person holding the handlebars? How does all this tech talk translate to the real world? Well, it all boils down to one thing, a more connected, more confident feel with your machine. And a perfect example of this is the clutch. We've all felt it, right? Under intense heat, regular oil gets thin and watery. And what happens? Your clutch starts to slip. It feels vague, and you're just losing power. So Kawasaki's solution is an oil that holds its ground, that maintains its thickness or viscosity. It creates this stable film that they say keeps the clutch grinding crisply and efficiently, no matter how hot things get. And you can see exactly how that confidence gets built step by step. It all starts with something called high shear stability. Now that's a fancy term, but all it really means is the oil doesn't get squished thin under crazy pressure. Because it's stable, the clutch plates engage way more predictably. For you, that means smoother control and better feedback right at the lever. And the end result? Pure confidence. You know when you pull that lever, the bike is going to do exactly what you tell it to do every single time. And hey, if you want to boil all that technical stuff down to one simple idea, this quote from Kawasaki just nails it. Less slip when you hammer the throttle. That's it. That's the payoff right there. It's all about getting a direct, consistent transfer of power from your engine straight to the ground.
All right, so as we round the final turn on this, let's bring it all home. What's the big takeaway here? And more importantly, who is this stuff actually for?
Well, it seems like Kawasaki is aiming for a pretty wide audience. I mean, of course, it's for the pro-level race teams and the engine tuners who are squeezing out every last ounce of performance. But they're also talking to the weekend warriors, the track day heroes, and just general performance junkies who want to give their bike the absolute best protection money can buy. And if you're thinking, okay, I want some, here's the deal. It's actually available right now. You can grab the 1-quart bottles at Kawasaki dealerships as we speak, and they say the bigger 1-gallon jugs will be showing up this winter. So really, when you get right down to it, this is the heart of Kawasaki's message. They're saying they've made a formula that isn't just about protecting metal parts. It's about empowering you, the rider, to push your machine and your own skills further than ever before, with total, unshakable confidence in what's happening underneath you.
And that kind of leaves us with a pretty interesting question to chew on, doesn't it? In a world obsessed with suspension tuning, ECU mapping, and sticky tire compounds, could one of the biggest secrets to a faster, more consistent lap time really be hiding in a bottle of oil? Well, Kawasaki definitely seems to think so.